Deep Threat Sports Network fans, we are back with another packed episode for you guys tonight. And tonight we are also rolling the quad box. We got everybody here on a beautiful Monday night. If you catch us all looking at other directions, it's because it also is the opening night of college basketball. Got bangers everywhere. So we'll probably be looking around at some of the stuff like that. Look at Bryant breaking his neck already, looking at something. Also, if you have it here, check it out. Some of the Deep Threat Sports Network merch came in. Got my quarter zip long sleeve right here on tonight. This thing is sexy, and this hat is filthy as well. Shout out to Chase taking care of us and getting that website up and bumping. The boys will be getting stuff here soon too. We are looking fantastic, fellas. How's everybody doing? And let's go ahead and get after it because we have a ton to talk about.
Dude, fantastic. Can't complain.
Yeah, Florida State won this week, boys. We did it.
Yeah, you dusted the polo back off, I see, after a big dub this week.
They rolled too.
Yeah,
Big time.
It's just, Nolan, it's not about losing to Stanford. It's about how you respond.
No, it's not. I still want the coach fired.
It's about how you respond. All right, so a ton to get to here. Chase is calling Dave out. He said, "Who let Dave in here tonight?" Dave is like our he's like our PR guy, dude. The fans get after Dave, and Dave gets after the fans, and that's what we're about. I'm glad that we got Dave to take care of those things for us. Hey, we're also in a ton of like different group text, and Dave is constantly chirping at everybody in the group text. Everybody, Dave too. Like it's just what Dave does, dude. And our football group text is the best because Dave gets after Bryant, and it takes like 2 seconds for Bryant to go off the handle, like every time.
Yeah, because Dave's takes are just stupid. Like they make no sense.
Hey,
it's just a bandwagoner.
It's just to get at you too. The one time Bryant was so mad at Dave, Bryant kicked Dave out of the group chat, like within 2 seconds.
I literally did.
I do remember that. I was like, wait, what happened? Did I leave?
Oh, man, that's too good. All right, boys. Well, you know how we do it real quick. First thing we're going to get after then, since we got a lot to talk about, let's go with this box. Is the dog of the week. And, Bryant, this is your time to shine, brother.
This week, DTSN, for the second time in this season, rolling with Haynes King. I mean, look at that stat line right there. 408 yards through the air, another 108 on the ground, 4 total touchdowns, 516 yards of the total 559 they had. An unbelievable game for Haynes King. They do it all for that team. He is their offense. That stat line is insane. I think this was a pretty easy conversation for us this week for Dog of the Week for Week 10. Haynes King, Georgia Tech quarterback. For the second time, like I mentioned, Dog of the Week.
The dogs bark. Haynes King is him. Haynes King is Georgia Tech football. And the fact that they still lost a football game with stats like this, boys.
So off of Haynes King and just, going off this, the fact that this is his second time that we have chosen him as Dog of the Week. But his Heisman stock is just not up there. Does this really reflect on, like, even though you are a good player, you have got to be on an elite program? Because, we're looking at Julian saying, how many times have we had him as Dog of the Week?
Yeah.
And he's, potentially the number one guy right now.
No, I think it's a great topic of conversation. And what's crazy is Georgia Tech's they're 7-1 or 8-1 now, and he still isn't getting the love. And I don't even know if he did that on purpose, Dave, but that was the most incredible transition you've ever done. We might as well just throw our Heisman conversation up right as we bring that up, and we'll just go ahead and throw the odds up there and show you guys where they're at. And Julian saying is number one, yes, with Mendoza at 2, Simpson 4, Reed 5, Reed 4, Stockton 5. And the Stockton conversation at 5 over a guy like Haynes King all the way down there at, 12 is insane. I'm with you, Dave. The fact that Haynes King's been our Dog of the Week twice, that doesn't happen often for us. I think that Haynes King should be getting a lot more conversation, and Georgia Tech goes as he goes.
Yeah, I think Haynes King, that's disrespectful down there at 6,000. He's got to be at least as high as Gunnar Stockton. At the very least, I would put him ahead of Marcel Reed personally.
Ooh, okay.
But at the same time, like Dave said, it's Georgia Tech. He's not a guy like Diego Pavia that will talk and gives the media sound bites. He just kind of does what he does and takes Georgia Tech to a one-loss season at the moment.
I think that's part of it too. Like what you just said, Nolan, is Haynes King's not that guy that puts himself in the limelight. Like he's not doing anything. He's not striking Heisman poses. He's not doing crazy press conferences. He's not doing crazy social media. He doesn't have Theo Vaughn around him. He doesn't have Johnny Manziel around him. He just plays football to win games and finds ways to win them. But with this list, I don't think it's possible for anybody outside the top four to go win it at this point and say in Mendoza, Simpson, and Reed. I just don't think it's possible.
It's the Heisman is, the top award in college football. And, we talked about it last year when this conversation came about Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, those guys. And I think the big thing is, like, I think people think, like, people that don't know college football as a whole think that it is, coaches and other, athletes, selecting this award. But man, let's be realistic. This is all just sports media folks, so all of their following is the hype, which, to an extent, I think that's why Travis Hunter did get the award last year, because he had the most hype. And yes, he also was good, but I think you need to have both of those to win this award. You can't be an incredible player and not be a likable person, I think, or at least have some level of hype behind you, because, out of those, I think I had looked it up. There's 870 sports media members that vote on this and 57 former Heisman Trophy winners. So only 57. So what is that? I'm not good with math, but less than 10% of the votes come from actual athletes.
It's crazy. Bryant, what do you got on this? We'll get you in here.
I'm right there with you. I think the top four is kind of locked in. There's been a lot of movement in that front the last 2 weeks, those guys separating themselves. The only player I think on this list that I see that could possibly move up and may win it is like a Jeremiah Smith, but he's not gonna surpass his quarterback on his team that's ahead of him. So I'm right with you. I think the top four are the guys that are going to win it, barring some sort of catastrophic letdown somewhere.
Those top four also, I'd like to point out, that's likely the Big Ten championship and the SEC championship game right there.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama, A&M. Who's going to have the biggest weekend on championship weekend? Might be the Heisman winner.
Yeah, and I think, too, I feel like guys – with saying in Mendoza's remaining schedule, I feel like it honestly, for me, in my opinion, does set up a little bit for a Simpson, Marcel Reed run, just because some of their opponents they have down the stretch. Now, if they lose those games, then obviously they're going to go the opposite direction, right? But if they win those games where Marcel Reed goes into Mizzou this weekend and has a good game on a big stage against another good team, that helps him move up the list. So I don't know. It's crazy, but what is funny, yes, is you'll find, spoiler alert, when we do our playoff conversation, all four of those quarterbacks right there are all four of the teams that we have getting a first-round bye. So to your point earlier, Dave, it goes hand in hand with, yes, you got to be winning big games. You got to be taking care of business for the most part. And this shows what the betting odds makers think of the ACC right now. And that's not a shot at the ACC. That's just kind of the truth. I mean, that's really kind of where it's at.
Listen, I'd take every shot at the ACC imaginable.
Listen, ACC this year is average. Everybody.
At best, man. They are legit average at best right now. Their home run team was Miami, and they have we'll talk about that in a little bit.
ACC is looking forward to the start of college basketball, and that's kind of where they're headed at.
And they don't even own college basketball anymore.
Their college basketball is dog shit last year, too. They only got like 3 teams in the tournament, maybe 4, and one of them was UNC. You should have that's on the other show, Foul 'em Hard. We started on Friday. All right. Let's get into the national championship conversation, too, while we're right here real quick. Funny, we should talk about it. Look at the top 4. All 4 quarterbacks we just talked about. Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama, A&M, Oregon at number 5. Notre Dame gets up to the 6 mark. And, fellas, in week 3 and 4, we were having a serious conversation about how there's no way Notre Dame finds their way into the playoffs just because the odds against them to lose one more game was pretty good compared to the fact that it wasn't. And
here we are.
We said early on that if they win out, they're going to have a way in, and they're on their way of doing that. So, I mean, they're 6 in the odds. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that 100%, but like we said, if they win out, they're likely going to be in, and that's playing out.
It also helps, though, that you look at some of these teams like Oregon wasn't supposed to lose to Indiana. Bama wasn't supposed to lose to Florida State. Stuff like that. Like Miami wasn't supposed to lose 2 games at this point. That helps Notre Dame crawl back in because the ACC is going to get 1 team. I think the Big 12 is going to get 1 team. The rest of it is going to be dominated by the Big 10, the SEC, and they're going to throw Notre Dame in there. If some of the parity wasn't happening and you had Miami just running the table and then you get like, say, Virginia or Georgia Tech playing them, and that's their only loss in the season or their second loss, like in Georgia Tech's case, that's the only way that you're going to get 2 in for the ACC. Same way for the Big 12. Texas Tech would have to be undefeated and they would have to play a 1-loss team, give them their second loss, and that's a good loss at that point then. That's the only way Big 12 is getting 2 in. That's the only way ACC is getting 2 in, and that's how you keep Notre Dame out.
Well, so before we get into our playoff conversation, because that's kind of where this is going, and I'm going to throw our bracket up next, Chase comes in with a comment, says the fact that no one stands out as the best team in college football shows you what kind of year it has been. I'm with Chase on this. The parity is wild, and it is really diluted at this point. But to me, the fact that Ohio State, in my opinion, stands out, and honestly, Texas A&M at this point in the season stands out to me. I would say those are the 2 teams that week in and week out I feel like stand out. And I'm going to throw Indiana in that conversation as well. They take care of business. They score 50 on everybody. They don't give a shit. They'll run the score up. They'll do exactly what Georgia didn't do this weekend and why DTSN had the worst beat in the history of our Book It segment with the fact that we had Georgia -6 and Stockton knees it on the 1 with 1:40 left with nobody in front of him. Literally the worst beat I've ever seen in my entire life. And the question that I had at that point is, why would you not run that in and build up your resume a little bit better? Like, that is what Indiana is doing. They don't care. They do not give a shit. They do not give a shit.
It's the people will call it unselfish football, not playing for your own stats. Just run the clock out. A win is a win. Everybody preaches, and the SEC is good this year, yes, but everybody preaches how it's a gauntlet. You win against an SEC team, it looks great. That's all you're worried about.
I think it's soft.
Touchdown would have seal that game for sure. Like
Yeah,
you can run up the clock and you're under control, but still.
Weird things can happen. You can just put it in your control, kneel it, and take some more knees, and then just run the clock out. That is the most safe option to do.
Yeah.
Listen, the amount of money they're making, they don't need to play safe.
Yeah, dude. It's so.
Like, I want you to take a hit.
But we say that. Look at Mario Cristobal 3 years ago, and trying to get a guy 100-yard rushing game, and he fumbles it, and you lose. So I guess I understand it a little bit, but that's also Mario Cristobal. Anytime we can throw a dagger at him too, we're going to continue to do that.
There'll be more.
Our playoff bracket, we are releasing it again this week. We said we'll do that every week moving forward. And here is our bracket right here. If you're with us on YouTube, you can see what we have up here. If not, I will read it out to you. The top 4 buys are Ohio State 1, A&M 2, Indiana 3, Alabama 4. The 5-12 matchup we have right now would be Georgia-Memphis. The 8-9 matchup we'd have right now is BYU-Oklahoma. 11-6, Louisville 11, Ole Miss 6. The 10-7 is Texas Tech 10, Oregon 7. First 4 out, Notre Dame, Texas, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech. Dave, what are you seeing here, brother?
I know we got Notre Dame as one of the first 4 out, but man, they're gonna find a damn way to get in. Like, they're just gonna find. And I think I don't know. Oklahoma does have a more difficult schedule moving forward, so I could see them dropping at least 1 game. So I think they drop 1 game, they're out realistically. Just with their losses already, and then that's where Notre Dame creeps on in. I don't see Ole Miss really catching the L. I think Ole Miss is a solid program. Texas Tech, I think, will handle business. Oregon will probably handle business. Louisville, again, we talked about it. ACC is really not that incredible this year, so I don't see them, having that hard of a time. BYU haven't looked at their schedule, but I would imagine they're just kind of run through. Georgia.
Hold up at the BYU take, because I just want to get Nolan's thoughts on this again real quick because he is the biggest BYU hater I've ever seen.
I was going to name some of these teams I don't think are going to be in this when the playoff actually starts. BYU is one of them. They have to lose. They just continue getting lucky every time the ball bounces their way. It's ridiculous. It is a weird-shaped ball, and it somehow bounces into the BYU players' hands every time.
Look, BYU could go win a national championship this year, and no one would have the hottest take I've ever heard on it, too. I love it.
Listen, I already said last week, I am moving towards apologizing to BYU, but they will lose. I'm still firm on that.
They do play Texas Tech this weekend.
Yeah, it's over. It is where it ends.
That's where it ends.
Like I said, it's going to be one Big 12 team. It's going to be one ACC team. So I think BYU is out.
David Bailey's going to put his face mask right in Bear Bachmeier's chest, and he's not going to run it anymore the rest of the football game. Bryant, what are you thinking on this?
I'm right along the lines with you guys with the ACC and Big 12 talk. We talked about the top 4 earlier. They're pretty well solidified right now as it sits. Just got to see how it plays out, really. There's some teams that can sneak in, like Notre Dame mentioned. Can't believe Texas is back here, but they're 7-2. So,
A&M will take care of them. It'll happen to them.
Definitely. But
okay, so what happens if Texas beats Texas A&M?
We're scrambling because Texas.
What happens?
Texas is in the playoffs, and we're scrambling.
I think A&M's probably still in too.
Yeah. Unless they drop another one between now and then, which they're going to this weekend against Mizzou. But go ahead, Brian.
No, that's a talk for the preview show. But not much from my end, honestly. Just kind of see how it plays out from 7 through 12, or 5 through 12, and see how it goes. There's going to be a team or two or more drop off, and there's going to be probably a team outside of our first 4 out that can slide in. So,
you want to know who that team is?
North Texas, baby.
Calling my shot.
Who is it?
Pitt. You know who they play next?
Miami.
Hold on. They have a bye week. Then they play Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Miami. They could knock all 3 of them out of the playoffs and gain their spot. I'm calling my shot now. Pitt's in the playoffs.
God,
Look, I love that take. If they do win all 3 of those games, you are 100% correct. My other question to ask with that take is the fact that we're having a conversation that the ACC team to get in is Louisville, Pitt, Georgia Tech.
Hey, Virginia.
And Virginia. That proves my point.
They're undefeated right now. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yes, the fact that we are having this conversation, man, so bad. They're undefeated in conference play, but
they are.
I mean, the ACC is just so bad. But I guess the direction I want to go with this is: would you rather see 2 Big 12 teams, 2 ACC teams, or 2 G5 teams? I'd rather see Memphis and North Texas in the playoffs than like Virginia and Pitt or BYU and Texas Tech. I think North Texas and Memphis would beat just about any ACC or Big 12 team right now.
I'd rather
except
see
Texas
2 Big 12 teams than 2 ACC teams. I don't trust any of the ACC teams. Miami has the dudes to line up against people. They don't have the coaching staff to line up against people.
That's what I'm saying, though. Would you rather see Memphis and North Texas or BYU and Texas?
They don't have the dudes. If you're giving me the 11 and 12 spot, you're going to get roasted by Georgia, and you're going to let Ole Miss score 60 on you. That's not a fun game to watch.
I don't know, dude. North Texas, Ole Miss the over-under would be 85.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Ole Miss's defense would be able to stop North Texas more than you think. They haven't played dudes of that size. I'm not saying talent, of that size.
North Texas's quarterback, Mestemaker, is going to be Ole Miss's quarterback next year. That's a tryout.
And he might be.
That's a tryout.
I feel like North Texas' offense could score on just about anybody. At least get you 20 to 30 points.
I agree with that. So
30's a high bar. You're going to line them up against Ohio State, and they're going to score 30?
I didn't say Ohio State. I'm talking the first round.
You said anybody.
Hey, get fired.
Just about anybody.
This is what I've been waiting on. I've been waiting on no one to push back strong on something.
You probably didn't watch a snap of that game on Saturday, dude. They freaking beat the shit out of Navy.
Yeah, North Texas actually put them in a –
That's Navy. That ain't the big
Navy
boys.
has like one of the best rushing attacks in the country.
Not one of them.
They run it every time. Of course they're going to have the best rushing attack.
Here we go. I'm about it. North Texas over Ole Miss. Hot take. Here it is. No one said it.
No.
Nolan, do you seriously believe that?
No. Ole Miss by 35.
I love it. So I wish I had our original playoff 12 up because when we did it, we talked about over under 6.5. Was it 5.5 or 6.5? Now I forget. Teams on the original bracket not make it, and we all took the over. And I'm pretty sure there's 5 of those teams off that list. I'll have to go back and pull that up and see what it was because I think there's five off there already. Hey, yeah, Chase likes it when we get heated. We haven't got heated in a long time. It's due to happen. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to blow up. Especially if this Mizzou Howard score gets any closer. Somebody's getting it tonight. Somebody's catching a stray.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
New thing that we're going to do in this episode tonight is just so everybody knows, we're going to keep the game reviews really brief. It's probably going to be like 9 quickies almost. The main 5 games we're going to do, we will do more than a little bit of a quickie on them. We'll all make a point or two and kind of get out. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about some of these coaching availabilities that have came open, like these jobs, man. It's absolutely crazy. And the top 6 on the market that we're going to talk about here tonight is LSU, Florida, Penn State, Auburn, Virginia Tech, and Arkansas. And we're going to go into conversation here a little bit and talk about if we were a coach, what job would we want? We're going to kind of rank these jobs a little bit. And I'll go first just to see if no one gets really fired up here because he's already on edge. I like it. So I'm going to throw my rankings out real quick, and then we can just kind of take it from there and see who has something different, who has something similar. I feel like they're going to be pretty similar. So just kind of maybe we all have the same thing here. But I'm going LSU number 1 available job that you can get right now for obvious reasons. I'm going to go Florida number 2, Penn State 3, Auburn 4, Virginia Tech 5, Arkansas 6. And people might sit here and ask, we're just dogging on the ACC a lot, right? Why would I have Arkansas below Virginia Tech? I don't think Arkansas is serious about their football program right now.
No.
I just don't think they're fully invested. I don't think they're willing to pony up the NIL money and go get a legitimate game-changer coach. I think their NIL is not up to snuff compared to other programs, and I almost feel like they're the direction of teetering on being a full-blown basketball program over football right now in the SEC. So I don't know if anybody's list looks exactly the same or different, but whichever one of you are ready, kind of tell me what you got in mind with my list here.
Mine's pretty similar. I mean, I'm going to LSU for sure. Florida right behind. I mean, it is the state of Florida, so you kind of can't beat that. Wife would never be upset about going to Florida, you know. Sure. Auburn, great place to go. I think Auburn has so much untapped potential there.
You're taking Auburn over Penn State?
Not even close, Dave.
I just don't think Penn State is going to get to that point, man. And this is just me. No. Like, I don't think Penn State will ever compete at that level. They're going to be right above for a long time, and we'll see it time and time again.
Hang on. Before we throw shots across the bow from Brian to Dave on this one, the Auburn Penn State job is closer than I think you're thinking it is, in my opinion, Brian.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, yeah, but Penn State's the better job. The Auburn thing is their expectations are so unrealistic.
So
Penn State.
The Auburn's are probably worse. They're Alabama's little brother. They have been for 30 years, and they're trying to live up to that. And they think they're just as good, and they're not. So there is the shortest lease on this list is Auburn football.
But hear me out. It is a lot easier to recruit at Auburn than it is to recruit at Penn State.
I get you that, but obviously that has not worked in 30 years.
Yeah, I mean
they're talking about that.
They're one and the same.
They had what, that one good season in 2013 when Malzahn was there. They were good for a few years, and then they canned everybody after they lost one season.
So Penn State can't beat Michigan, can't beat Oregon, can't beat Ohio State. Auburn can't beat Georgia. Auburn can't beat LSU. Auburn can't beat Alabama. So that's why I think it's way closer than because I went back and forth on this one, honestly. Like I could see this one either way. This would be like my 3A and 3B. And to be honest with you, if I'm a coach, I'm not picking up the phone for either one of them. But
let me play a little devil's advocate here if we're really arguing Penn State Auburn. I would like to argue, and this is not my exact thoughts, I'd like to argue Florida and Auburn are closer than you think it is. Because if you're arguing that Auburn hasn't done anything in 30 years outside the one season, Florida hasn't done anything since Tebow left, right?
No, you're not wrong.
They haven't done anything in
You're telling
18
me
years.
the last 4 coaches that have been there, they're just terrible? Because everybody was hyped up when they showed up, right?
Yeah.
So you're just telling me in hindsight, those 4 coaches are terrible. They were each terrible at different things, I should say. Nobody's Nick Saban. Everybody wants Nick Saban.
I'm also agreeing with that too.
Just
My
I would rather have the Florida job. I'm not saying I would rather have the Auburn job. But if we're arguing Auburn hasn't done anything in 30 years, I mean, that's Florida too.
Mm-hmm. My standpoint with all this is if I'm a coach and I want to go to one of these schools, I want backing across the board. And we've seen in recent years and recent coaching regimes with Florida, Auburn, LSU, Penn State, not so much, and the other two, not so much. Like, as soon as you lose a few games, that's gone. So, like, what's the point?
But look at all the
you have no backing.
But look at all the success Penn State just had with James Franklin outside of winning top 10 matchups. Yep. And he's still gone because the athletic director went out on a hunch after a game and said he was going to sleep on it and decided, instead of going to sleep, decided to pick up the phone and call him and fire him. Mm-hmm. Like that. That's why that job scares me, because obviously I think they have unrealistic expectations too. Like I don't – if you could go be a head coach and get a $50 million buyout, you're going to take it. You should. If you're a coordinator somewhere, you should. But the only real job that I'm entertaining, and this is not to just back my coach up, but if I'm an Eli Drinkwitz, if I'm I'm trying to think, who are the other top coaches on the market right now? People trying to. If I'm a Signetti who has if I'm Lane Kiffin, the only job that I would legitimately entertain if they called me is LSU. The rest of these 5 that we talked about on this list are all one and the same almost. Unrealistic expectations. Penn State just had, in their opinion, their best 2 teams in years the last 2 years and still couldn't compete. Florida thought they had loads of talent, and we are all 4 guilty of this. Talked about how DJ Lagway was the truth, and they come up short again. And this Auburn job is horrible. The Arkansas job might be one of the worst Power 4 jobs in the country.
I think it is. It is the bottom of the totem pole. I don't care what. I mean, there's just nothing appealing about Arkansas. Like we said, they don't seem to be wanting to spend the money there. Yes, they did upgrade their facilities, but other than that, man, there's just nothing going for them. And then let's be real: how much elite talent comes out of Arkansas? And you're competing with everybody else in the Midwest. Like, you just cannot. Not to mention their NIL money is not very high. And let's be real, that is the direction that college athletics is going, and that's what does entice me about Auburn too. I think Auburn may be slightly above Penn State in regards to NIL because they just signed some pretty huge endorsement deals.
Serious question, and before anybody just answers this and tells me I'm crazy, if you're Alex Golesh, USF's coach, and Penn State, Auburn, and Virginia Tech call you, and Virginia Tech's offering you $5 million more. That's too much. $2.5 million more. Are you taking Virginia Tech over Auburn and Penn State? I think the longevity of the job, you have a better chance at Virginia Tech, and you have a better chance to make the playoffs at Virginia Tech, winning the ACC, than you do Penn State in the Big Ten and Auburn in the SEC.
If I'm getting paid more, I'm taking that job over those 2.
That's why
Auburn's the second worst job on this list, in my opinion.
I'd much rather go to the big program. I'd much rather go to Penn State and Auburn.
Yeah, no, but you're going to go there.
But then you get fired, and then you
have no leash. You have 0 leash.
Yeah,
show me if you're going to pay me $50 million. You show me which door to walk out of. I don't care.
I agree with you. I'm not.
Norms, you're only going to the school so you can get fired and get a big payout.
That's it. That's your argument exactly.
Okay.
You're going to a school because they're paying you $2.5 million.
Okay, but hear me out, Nolan. If you are already at USF, you are making pretty good money. Like, what's another couple million going to make a difference to you? Kind of like Lane Kiffin said, what's another couple million? So
you're making my argument for me, Dave.
I think the pushback on that, though, Dave, is Ole Miss is already competing at a very high level, and they're already making a run in the SEC in back-to-back seasons.
Yeah,
USF obviously is not.
But here, this is where I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, do I go to Auburn and, I don't know, let's say they offer me, 2 years, I don't know, What
They're
would
probably
maybe $8 million, two
they're
years,
probably
$8 million a year.
they're probably going to pay $8 million a year, $9 million a year.
So $16 million. Let's say your buyout ends up being, I don't know. Let's say it's a 3-year contract for $8 million. That's $24 million. Let's say your buyout's 2022. All right. But you could go to Virginia Tech and they might pay you 3 or 4, but you might be there for 6 years.
So listen, here's my honest opinion. If I am one of these coaches, I am signing, offer me 8. I don't care. I want to be paid $2 million a year. I want that extra $6 million to go to my roster, and then I will bet on myself. You give me incentives. If I win my league, you give me an extra 1.5 mil. If I make the playoffs, I want another mil. If I end up in the top 4 at the end of the season, I'm in the quarterfinals, I want another mil. I will bet on myself if I'm putting another $6 million into this roster that I will take it there.
So if you put $6 million extra into that roster and you come up short, they're walking you out the door.
That's fine.
Dude, I don't know that you can buy much for $6 million.
Oh, yes, you can.
Oh, you could piece one together.
You can buy
Yep.
shit ton.
I mean, as long as you're not buying Darian Mensah for like 4, you're gonna piece a nice one together.
You look at this. This is part of what I was saying in the text today about the Florida players, the Auburn players. If you give me $6 million, I will go take all of Florida's receivers, and I want their right tackle. And I want to be at, say, a school like Oklahoma. A quarterback's coming back. I only need some receivers, and I only need one lineman.
You're gonna buy Florida's receivers? Yuck.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, dude.
He's not a legit Florida State fan.
No one is building a team to get him fired in the first year, dude.
Florida's receivers. Yes, I want them.
Nolan wants to be.
I think from my standpoint, if I'm going somewhere, I want a place where I know I'm going to get at least 3 to 4 years of solid backing. And because you got to build a program, you're starting from scratch at every one of these places for the most part. And if you go there and there's no backing, which obviously you can see from recent history, there is none. So if you lose, you're fired. I don't see how that's appealing. Like that makes no sense.
There's little to no backing at Virginia Tech. They have one of the worst NIL programs in the entire ACC.
They said they're ramping it up and taking it serious. They said they're going.
That's what they told me.
The entire ACC conference they're going to take it serious 2 years ago.
There's even less than LSU. The fucking governor's – sorry, I didn't mean to say that. The governor is literally the governor. Like, LSU is the worst as far as backing. Like, on a scale of 10, their backing for you is 0.1.
Yeah,
like, you don't win games, you're fine.
You'd rather have the Virginia Tech job than the LSU job.
No,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that
was your argument.
No, I'm saying how it's more appealing when you can go to a job that if the pay is really close, where you could have some sort of leash to try to build your program rather than win now, which is what all these
hear me out.
want.
If your argument is to get $2.5 million more per year and you get it for 6 years, why are you not just taking a job where they're going to give you $50 million to leave? I'm getting more money than you're getting paid over those 6 years, and I can go get a new job. And so if your argument is money,
tanking your career,
you are going the wrong way.
You're going backwards in your career by getting canned.
Yeah, he does get a point.
Then your argument is not money.
I think with this, dude, there's legitimately I think the conversations that we are having is the exact conversations that some of these coaches are having at home, like with their spouse. Like, am I going backwards? Because I'm going to get fired.
It's just a matter of time.
Legitimately, any job on our list, you are going to get fired. Like, there are very few jobs that you can take right now and not go get fired from. And it's probably like Oregon, Ohio State. You can't even put Alabama in that conversation anymore because they wanted to fire DeBoer like 44 weeks ago. And so there are literally no – I can't even say Ohio State actually because 44 weeks ago they wanted to fire Ryan Day. So like it is a cutthroat job. And you have – I mean, I don't know. I think Virginia – like that's the case I'm making with Virginia Tech. I think it's one that if you go get you 9 wins, like they're happy with it, I think you could reach up and win the ACC. Now, I'm going to be honest too. If I'm a coach and they called me, I'm laughing at them if LSU is also calling me. I'm taking the LSU job. I'm laughing at them if Florida's calling me. I just think that there is a case to be made for a school that has less expectations for you to have success. The success bar is a lot lower at Virginia Tech than what it is at LSU, Florida, Penn State. Because now what the case is like for Penn State is all the fans just saw them fire James Franklin. And if a coach comes in there next year and wins 8 games and then wins 8 games the next year, he's gone. Like they have now set the bar high enough that it is legitimately playoff or bust. And if you're not in the playoffs, you're not going to be our coach anymore. You're gone.
That's why I think LSU in Florida is more appealing than Penn State, though, because Penn State had perennial success year after year after year. We talk about them as title contenders. LSU in Florida, not so much. LSU just had 2 Heisman quarterbacks.
Yeah, LSU is also like one of the only jobs that's had multiple coaches win national championships.
Yeah,
and
the line is just so razor thin as far as it's literally a game by game basis. It almost seems like you win game A, you're staying. You lose or barely win, you're getting fired. Like the situation and the line of success is so thin at those schools that you just have to perform. So if you do perform, you're shooting way up the list. Like you're going to get there and get to where you want to be as far as your career is concerned. But if you don't, then you're taking a massive step back.
Then I'll just go take the Virginia Tech job in 5 years when that coach gets fired anyway. So now I'm back at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, but are you a consideration for that Virginia Tech job after you do terrible?
Yeah,
but you might be a consideration.
Just like you guys said, their expectations are low. So if I'm walking in as the former LSU coach, it's like, hey, I know what it takes to win big boy football games.
You go to Florida State.
Go.
Here's to prove that. I'm pretty sure James Franklin's a serious candidate to get the Virginia Tech job.
I think he will end up being at Virginia Tech. I'll be more shocked if he doesn't end up at Virginia
So
Tech.
that honestly answers your question a little bit, Dave. But this is going to get crazier. But this is also why I think like a guy like Lane Kiffin is way more hesitant to leave Ole Miss right now and go to one of these jobs because he's comfortable. The job security is good. He's got them operating at a higher level than any school on this list. Why would he go start over?
I think he'd be stupid to go anywhere, even money aside. Like, he's got no reason to leave something good. It's like same thing with I think Eli Drinkwitz. There is going to be a lot of people come calling, but there's no reason. And we talked about it already. There's no reason for him to leave. He's got it nice. Missouri, the expectation is not necessarily a national championship. You get 9 wins, you're going to be all right.
You get 9 wins every year, they're going to build a statue of his ass out front.
That's what they said about James Franklin.
Well,
but that's a different caliber, though. Like Penn State, Missouri, no offense, but
he did it to himself, though. He sat there and talked about how they were going to go win a national championship. He hyped himself up.
Fans get greedy. Human nature.
You're right. I'm pissed off, too, that we already got 2 losses. I'm greedy as shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I called you guys out in the group chat for being salty.
Yeah, I'm about to call you out.
That was.
I'm about to call you out at your Penn State job with Florida receivers.
That was from your other avenues.
Go ahead.
Oh man, I love it. This is not the end of this argument. This is not the end of this conversation. We are just tipping the iceberg on the coaching conversation and argument, and it's going to get way juicier once the playoffs are over. Probably once the playoffs are actually going. That's when some of these teams are going to be out of it and start shuffling around. So looking forward to that. So let's do a little bit of review conversation here, and we're already 40 minutes deep, so we're going to try to keep it pretty brief on most of these games, and we'll get to as many quickie games as we possibly can. So the first game we're going to talk about here is Georgia-Florida. Georgia 24, Florida 20. Georgia 7-1, Florida 3-5. Fellas, wheels are all the way off for Florida. The wagons crashed and burned. It had before they came into this game. This was the last game that their fans really had to get hyped for. We called it the Tea Party last week as kind of like a funny joke aside, even though I thought it was the Tea Party for a second. I don't know what happened. And it's actually a cocktail party, but if they couldn't win this one, why do they have any reason to win a game the rest of the way? I don't think this team's got no life. Bryant, what do you got here? Hey, take a deep breath, Bryant. You got a little wound up here. Take a deep breath. Talk about this Florida Georgia.
I'm good. From the Florida side, I totally agree with you. They were really playing hard in this game, it seemed like. But it just couldn't get over the hump, and then the receiver getting hurt and Dallas Wilson did not help. At that point, the ship sank completely. And honestly, on the Georgia side, I didn't really think they played an overly great game either. They kind of did what they needed to do to win, but it wasn't very impressive whatsoever. Like we talked earlier, I think would have made it look a little bit better if they ran that last touchdown in. But nonetheless, I thought Georgia, they did what they needed to do, but it was not flashy.
Dave, what do you got in this one?
Listen, I didn't watch this one because
Don't
YouTube
blame
TV did me wrong.
Oh, that's right.
YouTube
Yeah,
TV did me
you got
wrong.
YouTube TV, you're a pissed off
And
fan.
by the time I figured out that, by the way, if you got YouTube TV, Sling TV offers a day pass for $4.99. Not an advertisement here, but didn't figure that out until after this game. But,
No free ads, Dave. Damn.
But yeah, I didn't catch this game live. I watched some of the replays and kind of looked at stats, and I'm more concerned about why this was a close game for Georgia.
Because Georgia did exactly what Georgia does every football game. Do just enough to win the game at the end. They suffocate you to death and make it boring as shit, and Gunnar Stockton puts together one good drive and goes and wins a football game. Nolan?
Yeah, I mean, that sums it up exactly perfect. Georgia, they feel like they sleepwalk through the first three quarters and then finally turn it on. Coincidentally, that's when Stockton decided he wanted to play football. The only other stat that really tells you exactly what's going on in this game, Florida was a combined 2 for 15 on third and fourth downs. Their average yards gained on third and fourth down, anybody venture to guess? 0.5 yards per play on third and fourth down. Unless you got third and less than 1, you ain't doing it.
No. It's going to be hard to win a football game like that, and it's ugly. This is once again we're talking about the coaching conversation. Why would you want to take this job? It's in shambles right now. It's going to take a few years to rebuild that up. But yeah, Georgia is not world beaters, man. They still got no sacks. Like they still are not generating pressure on the quarterback. That is a huge concern. That to me is where the difference is going to lie for them in the playoffs. I think they are a playoff team because I think the parity is so open, and I think they do have some real skilled players. And they are – I'm going to make this statement again. They are the best coach team in the country still, in my opinion. I think Kirby is still the best in the business. That's why they're still winning football games. But it's going to come to a time when everybody's more evenly matched in the playoffs and you're not generating any pressure that you are going to lose football games. There's no way you don't lose games if you don't start generating more pressure.
They got to start finding a run game too, something.
Yeah.
Frazier and Bones have been okay at best this season. We saw in this game Bones was the leading rusher at 70 yards. Granted, he did that in 9 attempts, which is good yards per carry, but still, that's been Georgia's bread and butter for years is leaning on the rushing attack and bouncing and playing off of that, and we're just not seeing it this year. So they're going to figure something out there too.
Yeah, 100%. Anything else on this game, fellas? We'll roll on to the next one. No? All right. Well, speaking of Georgia teams, let's go to Georgia Tech 36 at NC State 48. You see Georgia Tech drop their first one, go 8-1. NC State 5-4. Nolan, what do you got? You seemed a little distraught with the ACC, shaking your head right there as soon as the score popped up.
I hope the ACC dissolves.
It's coming. Virginia Tech's a good job, though. Go ahead.
Georgia Tech had 500 some odd yards of offense in this game. We talked about it with Haynes King, the dog of the week. How do you not win this game if you have 500 something yards of offense? It's astounding how bad this defense was. I read a stat. Georgia Tech had 30 missed tackles in this game. 30.
Oh, terrible.
I don't even know who's playing football at that point if you're missing 30 tackles.
You want to know what's crazy to me? So when I watched this game and I was breaking this game down, I didn't feel like this game was actually 12 points difference. Like I was like watching the game, I didn't feel like it was a 12-point football game. If you're with us on YouTube, look at these stats right here. The stats are so eerily similar for it to be a 12-point football game. It's crazy. Like there was one turnover difference. That right there will change you and probably give it a 7-point swing. But they didn't score those points off the turnover, I don't believe, if I recall correctly.
Nope.
One sack different. The penalties were that's where a large margin was, but the penalties were on NC State, and they still won the game. Like the first downs are similar. The third down efficiency is similar. The fourth downs, neither team went for it. Both teams over 500 and 58 yards. It was so crazy. This game ended up being a 12-point game. And I really did feel like it was going to be a point in time where Georgia Tech was going to get got, and it happened finally. Like, I didn't feel like they were an undefeated team. I felt like they should have lost a couple so far, and this one got them right here. The only thing I'm going to say before I go to somebody else is C.J. Bailey has a really bright future for this NC State football team. I'd be shocked if he stays there long term. And even with Hollywood Smothers out, they found a run game in Jaden Scott. That's fantastic job by NC State here. Bryant, what you got?
Yeah, right along the lines of what you said. Georgia Tech has kind of been playing with fire this season a little bit and has been able to come out on top. And this is the game that ended up getting them. Like you said, I thought NC State looked a little bit better on the rushing attack. I think that helped them kind of limit possessions and get the ball and keep the ball in their offensive hands longer, and that helped kind of limit possessions for Georgia Tech. But yeah, like you mentioned, the stat lines are so even, and then when you have Haynes King have so many yards of offense, they should have won the game, and they just didn't. Comes down to Georgia Tech's defense. I did not read that stat, but that's wild, Nolan, that they had 30 missed tackles. You're not going to win football games doing that.
No. Sorry, Nolan.
That's why the stats look so close, and the game is still a 12-point game.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, you got anything on this one? Did you get I don't remember what network this game was on. Did you get your eyes on?
I did. I did actually end up watching this one.
That's right, because the bouncing from week to week, you're like a Vandy fan or an NC State fan. So Vandy lost, NC State won. Tell us about your favorite team, Dave.
Absolutely.
No, dude, tell you what, before this game, I was like, man, I was talking to my neighbor. He's a big Georgia fan. And I was like, dude, tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if NC State knocks out Georgia Tech. But I was more thinking because Virginia's only loss is to NC State.
But it was a non-conference game.
Correct. Which is why. But yes.
Yeah.
Which, listen, at the end of the day, it's still a loss, like whether it's conference or non-conference. Like, but my thing is, NC State is such a, they'll have highs and lows, and very highs and very lows. They're just never consistent, and that's why I was like, I wouldn't be surprised. And kind of like you guys said, Georgia Tech has kind of been like teeter-tottering there and just playing with fire. But yeah, I agree with Colin. I mean, when I was watching this game, I was trying to do some live bets, and I couldn't figure out what to bet because I didn't know what way this was going to go. Like for a second there, I was like, okay, Georgia Tech's got it, and then C.J. Bailey started lighting up, and I was like, I don't know, he might keep going. So I just never ended up even dropping any bets on this. I think your only safe bet was, doing a total yardage bet.
Yeah, Haynes King total passing yards over like 220 probably comes in. Those are 408. Anything else on this one? Let's get over to a game that if I could have just not watched, I wouldn't have, but I had to. And that's Vanderbilt 31 at Texas 34. Both these teams 7-2 now. I'm going to let Dave go first. We're going to let Dave get the tears out early with the Pavia conversation. Dave.
Listen, I don't know why y'all talking so much shit. Diego Pavia literally
he's not good. Have you watched the game?
Okay, listen, I'm not saying he's amazing. I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman. All I'm saying is he went 27 for 38, 365 yards, 3 touchdowns.
This was his best game. I will give you that.
That's not a bad game. Like, I understand they lost to Texas. I understand they lost to Texas. Like, I get that. It is what it is. And going back to our, here's what I'm going to compare. You look at what Dale Pavia did, and then you look at Arch Manning, that same game, 25 for 33, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns. Very similar stats. And now people are hyping Arch Manning up saying, he's bad.
Who's people? Who is people? Because don't put me in people.
The media.
I'll hype him up here. He's looked better the last couple of weeks. I will argue for him.
Okay, well what's the difference between what Diego Pavia did and what Texas did?
No,
let's be real. Vanderbilt has a Diego Pavia.
Well, Vandy did it. Vandy did it like in garbage time as part of it. Vandy did it all in garbage time. This game wasn't even close until the last 6 minutes.
I will say one thing, Dave, to back you up. This was Pavia and Arch Manning's best games of the season, in my opinion.
Yep.
And I think it's by far. But you're hearing Arch Manning's name again because they just won this game to get to 7-2. They didn't lose this game to get to 7-2. That is why you're hearing the conversation for Arch Manning in Texas again. I'm going to be frank with all three of you. I think they're both ass, and I think both teams are ass and just winning games. Like, I know that's crazy to say, but I don't watch either one of these teams, and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to watch these two play in the playoffs.
Okay, I'll get with you on that. I will argue Arch Manning has been better the past 2 weeks. They've set him up better is the biggest difference, I guess I would say. They are, just one of the stats here that I was going to bring up. Texas had 250 yards after the catch in this game. So 250 of that 328.
Yeah.
159 is after first contact. The receivers did most of the work. I will give you that.
Very first play of the game that you saw.
Yes. But that was not happening earlier this year. They just kept trying to force these deep concepts, these deep overs into the middle of the field, and they can't block it. If they can just get it in space and let Ryan Wingo do whatever he needs to do, that is the game that you have to play.
What I think is crazy is Vanderbilt has 0 run game outside of Pavia. Like, it is abysmal after him. It is crazy to me.
Yeah,
Right?
When they don't break long runs, it's that they have no consistent rushing attack to take the pressure off from. So he has to play hero ball and try to do it all himself. But yeah, he had good stats in this game. But if you watch him, he's just so inconsistent throwing the football. He airmails it. He can if it's 3rd and long, they're not converting. They haven't done it all season, and it showed in this game too. Yeah, he got 300+ yards of passing, but that was damn near all. I bet I don't know the stat off the top of my head, but I bet 75% of that was in the 4th quarter because it was just not good up until that point. It's literally him and Eli Stowers.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. And their defense did all they could. Besides that first play of the game, they were okay, but they've been on the field so much this season that it finally came and rear its ugly head where they were getting tired and getting pushed around a little bit, and it showed. So credit to Texas. This is a big win for them. But I agree with Colin. Both these teams I don't think are world beaters whatsoever.
No. One thing I saw, my biggest takeaway from this game is SEC officiating might be the worst in the country. I am willing to go that
bad this season. It's been bad this season.
Week in and week out, it is absolutely horrible. The 2-point play where they let it stand even after reviewing it on the Vanderbilt 2-point conversion, dude, he was 2 inches short of the goal line with the football. And they reviewed it, and still SEC officiating's trash. And I hate to sound like this guy. A lot of things go Vanderbilt's way in their football games. I'm over it. I think the SEC needs to really dig into this a little bit, not on the Vandy train, but on their officials. There needs to be some more repercussions for how bad it's been so far this season. We try not to ride officials' asses too much here because I know it's a hard job, but good Lord, I've seen enough this season from the SEC officiating crew. Anything else on this football game?
Speaking of officiating real quick, why isn't every conference or every game for that matter, why aren't we doing what the ACC does where we can literally listen to what they talk about? Like that should be a requirement.
100%. 100%. There is way too much.
I hope to see that coming.
Hey, when we do our off-season show where we talk about rules changes, that needs to be on there. And I'm still going to stand by the fact that targeting needs to be no ejection. I'm just throwing that out there while we're talking about that. Okay, on to the last big game that we're going to talk about here. This is where I might get a little animated finally. Talking about Mario Cristobal, my favorite coach in the country. Miami 20, SMU 26. Miami 6-2, SMU 6-3. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Mario Cristobal is going to get him, and he has twice. Carson Beck's a part of that problem. But I'm here to tell you that Mario Cristobal is dog shit after October 31st. That man is 4-11 as the coach after October 31st. We talked about that stat actually like mid-October. And look at it coming to fruition right out of the gate. What was Saturday? Was Saturday the 2nd or 3rd? What was Saturday's date?
The 1st.
Oh. Yeah. You played right into my hand right there. Literally the first day after October 31st, and he finds a way to ruin it. I tell you what, man, this guy sure knows how to coach ball, don't he? I can't believe people are talking about bringing him in to be their coach. Dave, did you get your eyes on this one?
No, I didn't. I was painting, but I was listening to it.
What were you painting? A Mario Cristobal mural?
My garage.
All right.
But listen, just from
My garage.
but just from listening to it, I mean, all you heard hype was Jennings. There was
Yeah.
nothing but praise about him. I
On
truthfully don't
one
know.
leg.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you guys. What happened? What was the one leg situation about? Because I didn't watch it, so I just kept hearing like, "Oh, he's doing this on one leg." Blah blah blah. What was that like? Did he get injured, or what was that about? Did he start off that way?
Yeah.
Yes. Came into the game injured.
Yep.
Okay.
And just found a way, man.
Yep.
Whatever broadcast you were listening to was 100% correct. This was a Kevin Jennings football game, and it kind of had that vibe for a while. It had that vibe that SMU was going to win this game for a while, and Miami was just trying to do whatever they could to make it happen. You look at the penalties here, 12 for 96. SMU only had 4 for 40. Things like that changed the ball game. SMU did go 3 for 13 on third down still, and somehow won this football game. And Carson Beck, 2 interceptions again. And his interception in overtime
Oh, it was bad.
was 110% on him. It was horrible.
Hey, he ran the right play. He just ran it. That's what he said.
Ran the play that was called.
Hey, talk about throwing your coach under the bus. That's what I'm talking about. Bryant, Nolan, what you guys got?
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, this game is so frustrating to watch. Credit to SMU for coming out and winning this football game at home with only having 23 rushing yards. That there is insane. Miami shut them down. They still won the football game. Like you mentioned, Kevin Jennings put this team on his back. He was making plays outside the pocket, which we saw all of last season and into this year as well. That guy is dynamic as they come when he's consistent and gets it done. But on the Miami side, I just don't see how you can have such good offensive line and defensive line and not be more disruptive and more dynamic on the offensive side of the ball. It's the coaching, like we talked about many times. Their coaching staff is screwing these players over, and it's year after year with Cristobal. And it seems like we're just beating a dead horse at this point.
Listen, I'll tell you exactly how they can't run the ball. It's because they run the exact same play, either to the right or to the left, every single time, because Mario Cristobal thinks just because he has big dudes up front that it doesn't matter what run play they call. They just run a duo zone right or left every time. And everybody knows it because I think, I haven't researched this, I don't know, but he has to, since he has such a bad record after October 31st, he has to just have the worst tendencies in all of football for his offense. Everybody has to know what's coming at this point.
That's got to be part of it.
Beginning of the season, I mean, they score every single year under him. Towards the end of the season, they can't score to, I know, win games. What a terrible analogy, I guess. But if everybody knows what's coming, it's easy to stop. You just load up the B gap on either side and throw your safeties up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's the guy. He's had 2 really good teams, and this year's team was better than last year's team outside of the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
And still can't win the ACC. We literally spent 10 minutes earlier talking about how the ACC is horrible. You, by far and away, have the most talented roster in the ACC. You and Clemson. And both of these coaches find ways to not win football games. And you let a team like Rhett Lashley and SMU, who's been in the ACC for, 2 years now, come and just show you how to play football. It's horrible. Part of me understands what he's thinking, though. They do have the most talented lines of scrimmage in the country. But Jesus Christ, man, change it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm gonna do a whole episode by myself, just so you guys know down the stretch about Mario Cristobal. I'm gonna dive all the way into him before it's over. I can't continue to have this conversation with him anymore. If I'm Miami, and what's crazy is people are wanting to hire him at other jobs. If I'm Miami, I'm having a serious conversation about what we need to evaluate our head coach.
You know why they want to hire him? Because he will get you a top 5 recruiting class every single year.
Yeah, he's
that guy needs to never hold a clipboard. He should not have headphones. He should not have the headset on game day.
No.
Let him recruit and then tell him you're not allowed to be within 50 miles of this place on game day.
No, he should. No, he should be on the field still, but it should be with the recruits. He should have the
No, he
recruits.
should not.
Just
He
shake
should
the
not.
recruits' hands.
Do not let him inside of the stadium because he will figure out a way to mess it up. Not within 50 miles.
He's horrible, dude. Horrible. Worst X's and O's coach in the game. Oklahoma 33 at Tennessee 27. Fellas. This game,
that run game, boy, for Oklahoma, they found it.
I was going to say two things Oklahoma has that one we knew, one we didn't know. A damn good defense we did know. A run game we didn't know that all of a sudden they're finding a way with Xavier Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
And hell, fellas, he had 16 rushes for 115 yards and a tutty. What is that? At one point, Oklahoma's defense was just about to outscore their offense. That's how good that defense is. And everything we said about Joey Aguilar coming into this game is 100% still true. 100% still true. Tennessee has to score on big plays or they don't score.
Mm-hmm.
I am not impressed with Tennessee football. I still don't think Oklahoma and John Mateer are that good. That defense just does great things for them.
Aguilar is so bad under pressure.
It's so bad.
When he gets hurried or just pressure in general, he's one of the bottom half quarterbacks in all of college football. When he has time to throw, he is a top probably 25
Let me ask
college
you.
football quarterback. That's when he has time. He had no time against the Oklahoma front seven. That was the big thing in this game.
Would they have been any better off with Nico?
No.
So
He freaks out under pressure too, I feel like.
I think Aguilar's a better passer than Nico is.
I agree.
It's the same situation.
That was a really quick no from all three of you. I would push back. I think it'd be the same results,
Same result.
but
I'm not as confident as you three just to be like, no.
The Tennessee team was better last year with Nico, and as far as, they made the playoff, and I don't know. They weren't any better whatsoever with Nico last year, and they had better players. So I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I think they're one and the same, in my opinion. And I think they operated the same also, like explosive plays or bust. That's Josh Heupel's team. That's Josh Heupel's offense. That's what he is, man. It is absolutely boom or bust. No doubt.
Yeah, if they can get the tempo going and be able to do consistent drives, their defense is going to be on the field way too much, and they don't have a good defense. So that's just going to bite you in the ass like it has for them when they lose football games.
It doesn't help that Tennessee has no rushing game.
Yeah, that's a big issue as well. Losing Sampson.
Go ahead.
Losing Sampson to the NFL and a few other guys that either graduated or moved on just hurt them badly. They did not backfill that whatsoever with guys that could step up this season. So it's putting
They've
all
been
the
one of
pressure
the
on the passing game.
rushing offenses in all of college football the last 3 or 4 years. That's truly. I know everybody thinks about the pass in Josh Heupel's offense. The run is how you get to the pass in Josh Heupel's offense.
Yeah.
He's not one of the Mike Leach air raid guys that's going to air it out 50 times a game, and that is his sole purpose is to throw it. Heupel wants to run the ball, and he has to run the ball effectively to be able to open up the pass game.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. I think for me, we talked about it on last year's shows all the time when we talked about Tennessee. We talked about two things. If Nico figures it out and Dylan Sampson is this whole entire football team. And I think that proves true still that we realized that Dylan Sampson loss went way under the radar with most people. Talked about it here on this network, but most people out there didn't talk about Dylan Sampson, the loss of him being the biggest thing that happened. They just talked about losing Nico. Dude, Dylan Sampson was the heartbeat of that football team, and it proves true this season. I don't think Tennessee is a bad football team by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't think I think they're an okay football team. I think they're going to beat every team they should beat, and I think every matchup that the opposing team matches up athlete for athlete, I don't think they're going to win. I also was reading some articles and some comments for some Tennessee football fans, and the conversation of them wanting Josh Heupel to be removed as the head coach is wild.
That's crazy.
Again, who do you get? The pickings are so slim when it regards to coaches. Anybody that's got a good position that is decent, that's worth a damn, they're not leaving where they're at.
Yeah, you just made the playoffs with Josh Heupel. I mean, same conversation go for James Franklin, but they obviously that's a different topic. It gets a little bit deeper in the weeds there. But dude, Josh Heupel should not be in conversations of being removed at all. I could go down a list of like 15 coaches, maybe 20 to 25 that should be removed before Josh Heupel is in conversation.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be some sort of a down year for Tennessee a little bit. We thought they weren't going to be as good. And
Yes,
I think the fans – there's some crazy fans in Tennessee that are going to say some outlandish stuff. It's just similar to every fan base has those guys. So, yeah, we knew this was going to be a little bit down year. Be patient, and we know Tennessee will be right back.
Tennessee was the laughing stock of the SEC for how long?
And now they're good. Yep.
But, yeah, Butch Jones didn't have much success there.
No. Mm-hmm. Why would you fire the guy that got you to be out of the laughing stock?
Dave told us a second ago that his devices that he used were going to die. His laptop or whatever he uses, the charging port went out on it today. So the guy's just going absolutely through it. And he'll be back later in the week with us. But his device is gone. See you, Dave. Been a real one. Who has the Penn State Ohio State quickie game?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
Oh, look at him fight over. Look at him fight over a hell of a match. No one go ahead with this doozy.
Ohio State kind of played with their food the first half. It wasn't a great game. It was 17-7. Ohio State had a chance to really make it 24-7 and then get the ball back after half and make it 31-7. They did not. They did not step on the throat. Not until second half rolled around. That's when they started to really kind of turn it up. And the only reason Penn State had one of their touchdowns, Ohio State fumbled the ball on their own 12, and then Penn State ended up kind of fumbling into a touchdown at that point. So the Ohio State defense is still really good. They didn't actually let up 14, in my opinion. If you got to go 12 yards to score a touchdown, there's not many defenses that are going to hold that up. So Ohio State's still real good. They're still my favorite to win the Natty. Don't take the 38-14 just out of context on this one. Mute Monster gotcha.
It did get me. That doesn't happen often. Thank you. I said Penn State's still real bad. Brian, what did you got?
I was going to say some positive for Penn State a little bit is they're still playing really hard for what's his name? Is it Todd Golden? Is that his name? I can't remember.
They played Ohio State. They were gonna get up for this one.
I understand, but I mean, there's actually they said in the broadcast that the interim is in consideration for the job. I don't know if that's just hearsay to try to get through the rest of the season, but he's got him playing pretty good ball.
That was in the
interim, so we will see. That was also while they were within 3 points at halftime.
Yes, that was in the first quarter, and like when they had mentioned that Snive remarked, and I'm sure that dissipated like a fart in the wind in the second half. I mean,
I don't know. Listen, I know you guys don't think Penn State is a good team. They have good players. They will have a lot of people drafted. If the interim coach can keep players on the team and they don't just get picked by every other roster like Ohio State, Michigan, all those big boys up in the Big Ten, if the interim can keep them, I would hire him in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Let him be a GM type, never call a play, similar to what we want for Mario Cristobal. Let him be a GM, run the game day stuff, make sure everybody's recruiting, and don't you dare call any plays. You better hire a good OC, and you already got a good DC. So,
yeah, Brian, I don't know the interim name that you're thinking of, but I think Todd Golden's actually the basketball coach for Florida.
I knew that, but it's something Golden, I'm pretty sure. I'll look it up.
I'm going to go – who has the Cincinnati-Utah game, fellas?
I can take this one as well.
Yeah, go for it. If not, I can take it.
I wasn't even close. His name is Terry Smith.
That's the most
real close.
That's the most like just video game generated name of all time. And you could have thrown out John Smith and been really close.
Now that I say that, he is an alumni. He was in the NFL. He played really good for them back in I think the 90s. So he's Penn State through and through. And if he keeps them somewhat on the tracks, I think he has a chance.
Yep. So in this game, Utah, I mean, they just took it to Cincinnati. Brennan Sorsby did not look great in this game.
No.
He ended up with it's adjusted. So hear me out for a second, because if you look at the stats, it's not going to show this. But the adjusted completion percentage, that includes drops and includes kind of everything that goes into a pass. It was 45% on the adjusted completion percentage. That's rough, man.
Yeah.
So the adjusted completion percentage, if you have a drop, it's counted against you. They are figuring that as a catch in the adjusted completion percentage. So he was just off target all day long. And then Utah, they lined up 6 dudes. They had their 5 offensive linemen, and they brought in an extra blocker and said, you will not stop us. We will run at you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And there was nothing. There was nothing. I was really pumped up for this game, and I lost my excitement in the first quarter.
Yeah.
When I realized how dominant Utah was on the trenches of both sides, I was like, well, this is an absolute boat race, and this is going to give us a loss in the book it segment.
We were so confused about this line being -10, and they were right.
My confusion went away within the first 7 minutes of the football game, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute ass beating. It sucks for Cincinnati too, because they had everything in front of them, man. It was a great run they were on, but it's over. It's crashed and burned. Both engines failed. Nose down. West Virginia 45, Houston 35. Bryant, you want this one? Or you want me to take it?
You can take it. I'll take Navy and North Texas. That's the one I watched the most of, probably.
Of course you would take that one. That's the one I wanted to do. So
that's
all right. I got it. I think in this football game for me is West Virginia plays like their 3rd or 4th quarterback of the season, and the guy comes in and somehow finds a way to beat Houston and score 45 points with stats of only 157 passing yards. Like West Virginia scoring 45 points to me is crazy. And this Houston defense giving up 45 points to this West Virginia offense to me is absolutely wild too. And I thought Houston was going to handle business. Houston's another team in the Big 12 that had everything in front of them. Connor Wegman's been playing great football all season. Those for 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in this football game. So still kind of did his part, erased the 2 interceptions, and they probably go ahead and win this football game. It's just a damn shame that Houston let one slip through the cracks here. This was a layup for them. And this really looked like they were going to get to 8-1 and be in total control of their destiny in the Big 12, especially on a day when Cincinnati loses. This was huge for them, man. And they just come up short. And Houston has some athletes, dude. They have some underrated athletes on that football team. I'm pissed off they lost this one, and it just sucks.
It's hard to win football games when you have 82 rushing yards and then also 2 additional fumbles to the interception. So they had 4 turnovers total.
Horrible.
Other than that, the line was – the stats, were pretty even across the board. It was just – when you turn the ball with 4 times, your defense can only do so much. And this game, Houston was winning in the 3rd quarter, and then they just lost all control. And Virginia Tech scored 24 points in the second half. West Virginia.
Scotty Fox, baby. Scotty Fox just settles in. How do you lose to Scotty Fox? That's like Bird Ficken last week for Utah. The next game here is Navy 17, North Texas 31. This had high implications on it in the American Conference for the last spot in the playoffs. And Navy comes up short here. Bryant, what do you got on this one?
Dude, we talked about this in the preview. Whoever's going to get a couple stops is going to win this football game, and that's exactly what happened. North Texas got a few turnovers from Navy, was able to limit the run as best they could in this football game, and then the offense did what they needed to do. And honestly, North Texas and Mestemaker didn't really have to do a whole drastic amount through the air. Caleb Hawkins was an absolute animal on the ground, dude. They just kept handing him the ball off, and he was running. He had 80 yards in the first quarter alone. So they opened up that aspect of their offense in this game, and they kind of were in control. It seemed like after the first 10 minutes of the football game, and they just cruised to a victory. Got stops when they needed to. Navy really wasn't ever in this football game. I didn't really think Navy played a horrible football game. Just North Texas kind of controlled the game as a whole and did what they needed to do. And it was kind of funny. I remember texting Colin this. There was literally nobody at this football game. Like, I wonder what the attendance was. I'm going to look that up right now. But this is one of the better games on the docket, I felt like, this weekend, as far as implications for the playoff and the American Conference and G5 as a whole. And excuse me, there was nobody there. It was funny.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed with that, actually. And also, this is what needed to happen in Navy. I know that sounds terrible. It was due time. And I still can't believe this game only scored 48 points. Like
This under was 20 points more than that.
Yes, I think the over-under was like 68. A lot of people lost money on this game hitting the under for sure. It was wild. The last game that we're going to talk about here is USC 21 at Nebraska 17. USC 6-2, Nebraska 6-3. I'm here to tell you right now, USC does not win this football game if Dylan Raiola does not get hurt. And it's not because Dylan Raiola looked like a world beater and Nebraska looked like world beaters, but the backup quarterback situation got real ugly when he came in. There wasn't much that they could do. It was throwing screens to both sides of the field. It was behind the lines of scrimmage passing. Nebraska just clearly was not prepared, and most teams aren't. But that backup quarterback situation for them is not great. And to make it even worse, Dylan Raiola is out for the rest of the season. This puts our over-under win total for Nebraska, 7.5. That was a book at play, in some serious jeopardy because I saw nothing promising for them moving forward at all whatsoever. On the flip side of this is Maava's worst game of the season, and that also wasn't close. The dude was 9 of 23 with an interception. I'm pretty sure I could put Nolan out there, and he goes 9 for 23 with this receiving core on USC. This was a horrible football game for USC. Lincoln Riley did everything he could to keep that streak alive of losing road games. It was just horrible. Also, speaking of keeping streaks alive, Nebraska, what is it's Matt Rule's like? What is it? Top 25 opponents or whatever that stat is.
Yeah, it's the top 25.
Unbelievable, and it's not getting any better, man. The reason USC ended up winning this football game is because they found King Miller at running back. He had 18 for 129 and a touchdown, and I'm pretty sure a couple weeks ago he did not have a scholarship. Let's make sure that they take care of that because he do what?
Matt Rule's 0-8 against top 25 teams in Nebraska and 2-24 overall in his career.
Good.
Just got an extension.
Yeah, just got that extension to keep him.
Nebraska is on a 29-game losing streak against ranked opponents.
Good.
The last win was 2016.
Good. Or speaking of good, I would have let Matt Rule walk if I was Nebraska.
They extended him.
Unbelievable. That's all it takes to get paid, baby. That's all it takes to get paid. Hey, see these expectations at Nebraska like they are at Virginia Tech, Nolan? See these low expectations at how you get extensions?
Lose Nebraska.
I'd rather win a natty.
Lose football games, you get extended.
Nebraska's used to be, they were the team to beat for 20 years, and that kind of finally went to bed about, I'd say, 10 years ago. And they're super low now.
Bring back the black shirts.
Yeah, it's bad. I feel for them because all of that would have been put to bed this weekend if Raiola didn't get hurt. And I think something with his lower leg broken and done for the season.
Fibula.
Yeah, shelved. That'll do it right there. Credit to him for walking afterwards a little bit.
Fibula's less weight bearing.
Yeah,
10% of your weight bearing goes on the fibula.
But in this day and age, how do you know? But in this day and age, we see players stub a toe and they get stretchered off the field. Man, this dude just stood up and walked off. I'm not saying it was like Kobe making free throws with a torn Achilles, but credit to him for getting up and walking off a little bit here. So, anything else from this weekend? Anything else you two were? I love the banter from you two earlier. Anything else you guys want to tell each other before, give hugs? Kiss my ass. What do you two got for each other before we get out of here?
No hugs. See you again later this week. Let's argue.
No, we're good. Nolan and I know where we're at with each other.
Oh, well, we're just opening that can of worms, boys. We will be back on Wednesday or Thursday this week to do our preview episode. Another good slate this weekend, and as we said last week, it still holds true. Things are getting extremely dicey, and teams' playoffs hopes are going away, and some teams are gaining a little bit of traction, but the margins are getting real razor thin. I think tomorrow night, correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but I think the first ESPN playoff rankings come out.
Yes.
Yeah, the CFP's announced tomorrow. It's the first week, yes.
Yeah, well, let's see just how close ours are to theirs. If theirs are not the same as ours, theirs suck and ours are good. I'm confident in that, and I will stand by that. So that's the way we feel about that. Anything else, gents?
No.
Hey, hard to believe it's November, and we got to start getting after some teams that want to get in the playoff.
It's crazy that it's already this far along.
Mhm.
While you're here, like, subscribe, alert, comment. Right now, it doesn't take much to go win some free apparel from us right now. And I'm telling you what, this shirt I have on right here is absolutely incredible. And we have so much good merch out there, but we will take care of you if we do elect you. So make sure you're doing that. We got, I think, 2 weeks left in that because we extended it due to the fact that somehow we got put on a kids channel thing and we couldn't have comments. So that does make it tough to win that if we can't have comments. But we're back now. We're no longer for kids. Brian's dropping bombs. We're all that, baby. This channel is getting spicy, and it's that time of year, boys. But hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. Make sure you can tell your friends, tell your family that we're out here getting things done. And Deep Threat Sports Network has been true to their word all season long. If we're wrong, we're wrong. And when we're right, we're going to let you know we're right. And we've been right way more than we're wrong this week. Can't wait to review the Book It segment. Things are looking up for that as well. And we will kick no one out or Dave out of the chat whenever that is taking place next week, because without them, things look great. I'm telling you. So, hey, that's Bryant. That's no one. I'm Colin. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple at Deep Threat Sports, XDT_sports_, Facebook, Deep Threat Sports Network. Fellas, till next time. Peace.